Hello and welcome to Forced Entry number 4. On this week's episode, Bobby says yeah into the microphone a whole lot.
Uh-huh.
And Kevin talks about everything from Instagram to his 30th birthday. And what else did you talk about?
I think we talked about Dad.
Yeah?
We talked about my dad.
You talked about your dad? We talked about a little bit of everything on this podcast.
Yeah, and
It was really good.
and those bastards stealing our inventions.
I know. And those damn cherry tomatoes. We didn't talk about that on the
No,
street.
but you know what? Someone heard it, and now there's going to be exploding tomatoes out in the streets.
I know. So when I was a kid, my mom used to... I got the cherry tomatoes on the salad, and my mom always used to say, don't bite down on the cherry tomatoes. Don't stick the whole thing in your mouth and bite down because they'll explode. And 5-year-old me thinks that it's going to be like a big fiery Michael Bay explosion inside my head. So, like, it scared the shit out of me.
So did you carefully eat the fucking
Just like nibbled the skin off or something like that. I'm like, oh, this thing to fucking explode in my mouth.
Did you eat the tomatoes like Pee Wee Herman ate like that M&M? That
Yeah.
episode of, and you just kind of pieces at a time.
I'm full.
just carefully eat a cherry tomato.
That's right. All right. So, like always, if you like the podcast, like us on iTunes, comment, and without further delay, this is Forced Entry number 4. Fucking tomatoes.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think you just recorded our intro music there. Welcome to Forced Entry.
Well,
That's interesting.
that worked.
Yeah.
Huh.
What's going on?
What are we doing?
Where are we?
Let's stop this and make a band right now.
Why are we doing this podcasting thing? We should be doing the music thing
We
right
should
now,
do
right?
the music thing. We're in the wrong business.
I know. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
What'd you do? What have you been doing?
Oh, well, let's see. I had a birthday this week.
No way. How old are you?
Well, Facebook says I'm 30.
Yeah, but we know that Facebook is horribly inaccurate. You can't believe everything Facebook tells you.
Yeah, exactly.
Facebook says a lot of stuff that I am that I'm not.
I think I feel 25. Maybe.
Yeah?
I don't know if I've gotten any more mature over the year. I had a pretty good birthday. It was really chill.
Yeah?
I got a couple cards from the girls. I really enjoyed that. Little decorated cards. So they mean stuff.
That's awesome.
And little Tegan just kind of...
She didn't know what she was doing.
Oh, she absolutely knew she was doing.
Yeah.
You're going to remember this, Dad. You're going to hang this on your fridge. You're going to be the only one that likes it. And then, I watched a few movies with my wife. She was sick. She ended up taking 2 days off of work this week because of her laryngitis. She can't say anything. It's hard to teach kids when they can't even hear you. You can't get their attention when you have your full voice anyway.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was like a parting gift from the kids for the summer.
probably
It's like, here you go, teacher. Now you can't talk.
eat this big bag of laryngitis. I think it's a viral thing. I don't know. I do no research. I am very medically dumb.
You didn't WebMD it?
No, I don't do anything like that. The only thing I know is the stuff that I've had or happened to me.
I WebMD'd with something once, and I think I have rickets. I would do that. I'd go into medical. I'd go into the battalion medical station, and they're like, "What do you want today, Reed?" I'm like, "I think I got SIDS." SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. Yeah, I think I got that.
Bro, it's a bad case.
It's offset by 30 years.
I don't know. This week has been it's been pretty chill. Watched 2 movies that are very different from each other.
Yeah.
The first one being, Let's Be Cops. I didn't think it was going to be that good, but I was thoroughly impressed with Damon Wayans Jr. and how funny that movie was.
You know, I'd like to see Damon Wayans Jr. in reboot of Meteor Man.
Yeah, or Blank Man.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe they combine the character. It'll be like Superman versus Batman.
Combine the character and then throw him into a reboot of Major Payne.
Yeah, it'll be Blank Man versus Meteor Man.
That's just funny right there.
Hollywood, make that, please.
Or you know what would even be cooler, like on a serious note?
What's that?
Dan Wayans Jr. goes, you know what this is? In Living Color. And just brings it back. And Living Color was so funny.
Yeah.
Everyone was so funny on that show. I mean, like, all the Wayans consistently brought it. And then there was that Jim Carrey guy. And he was...
Whatever happened to him?
I think he's doing Matthew McConaughey impressions for SNL. Oh, man.
I drove a Chevy Pinto before anybody paid me to shit.
Did you bring a voice? Did you bring a voice recording to the show?
Awesome,
man.
So you had a really chill 30th birthday.
Pretty much.
Yeah, last year I had a chill 30th birthday myself. I went to go see the new Hunger Games flick, and then I came home and cooked myself.
Which one was that?
Something. The latest one that came out last November.
Okay, yeah.
So it's the one where Katniss is shooting a bow and arrow. It's that one. It's the one where they're not in the Hunger Games anymore. They're outside the Hunger Games.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I watched the first one. I think I've seen the second one. I don't know. But I watched the first one, read all 3 books, and now I have no desire to watch any of them. Because the first one, as good as a movie as it was, when you read the book, you're going, damn.
Yeah.
This is a real story. This is a real story.
Did you ever finish watching Daredevil?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, finished
What did you think? What did you think of the suit?
Oh, man. It's badass.
Yeah?
It's badass. I didn't get to see it get tested very well. I mean, it got sparks when, Wilson Fisk, who's not yet Kingpin, so it's right to call him Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
And just beat on that chest plate. But
I watched it. Well, I think a day or two, or after the weekend when it came out, they changed the image on Netflix from Matt Murdock as Matt Murdock,
right,
into Matt Murdock as Daredevil, and the whole Daredevil costume with the horns and everything. And I looked at that. I'm like, why does Daredevil have eye holes? That's stupid.
Well,
and then it turns out that he didn't have eye holes. It was just the way they was shot.
You think that even if he did have eye holes, it would be okay because it's to let on his enemies that he's not blind? I mean, if he had no eye holes, then he's obviously doesn't need to see.
Yeah.
I never noticed why bad guys and cops didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
There's no way you can see through that black mask in the middle of the night. You gotta be blind.
Round up all the blind people in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, there's only, aside from the 100 Chinese ones, there can't be very many that fit the description of Daredevil.
Look at the one that has the shit kicked out of him all the time.
Yeah. This one goes through a lot of injuries.
He does.
Yeah, he does. I think it's crazy. Another thing, now that we're talking about the past week, I'm not afraid to admit this because it didn't do anything for me. But I played basketball a couple times this week, and my ankles have been, questionable. And I tried to meditate.
Yeah.
To try to heal them. It didn't work. I kept thinking about other things in my head, not my ankles. I don't know how to meditate. You know what I was thinking about?
Trying to do the Mr. Miyagi thing where you like rub your hands together and
I tried
see
that
if
too.
You can fix it yourself.
Yeah, I literally did try that.
The Asian spirit isn't with you, I guess.
No, maybe not. You can obviously take the Asian out of the Asian. Now I'm an underprivileged American. Now, that's funny.
Yeah.
No, but I try to meditate. It didn't work out for me. I didn't heal any faster. But I also learned one thing: my infatuation with the reboot of Full House.
Yeah.
And how bad that's gonna suck. I couldn't stop thinking about that the whole time I was trying to heal my ankles. I don't know how I got there. Maybe it's because I was thinking, it's like, man, this really hurts. Probably not as bad as Full House.
You know, if anything happens, I'll watch it, like, regardless.
I think so.
It's the same reason you watch NASCAR for the wrecks. But I think it'll be a success if they get the actress who played Kimmy Gibbler on the show. I don't want to see anybody else. I want to see what happened to Kimmy.
You don't want to see Bob?
No.
You don't want to see John Stamos?
No.
Really?
No.
You don't want to see John Stamos?
I just want to see Kimmy Gibbler. What happened to her?
I want John Stamos to show up on set and have someone accidentally cut him and then him not bleed, confirming that he's some sort of supernatural being. I
want when they open up that fridge, a whole bunch of Anyos or whatever yogurt that he pitches, just avalanche out of that refrigerator. And you'll see John Stamos just break character and say, "Fuck this, I'm going." I'm like, "Oh, fuck you."
He starts sweating.
Yeah.
I really like Greek yogurt.
John Stamos' blood was replaced by Greek yogurt.
And then I had this thing. I was realizing that I watched. I listened to a lot of podcasts. Did the David Burnham podcast on Mark Maron.
Yeah. And
I realized I really liked Talking Heads again. So I've been listening to a lot of Heads. And then I watched Escape Plan. No.
I think it's No Escape is what the title of the movie is. It's with Arnold Schwarzenegger
and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop picking it apart. I'm thinking I'm getting dangerous with the way I watch movies. I couldn't stop ripping it up.
So a couple of months ago, I introduced you to a YouTube channel called Cinema Sins. Do you think that has anything to do with why you rip up movies so much right now?
I did it before, but I think Cinema Sins has amplified my game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say that I'm trying to compete with them. I'm just thinking maybe I'm trying to one up somehow Cinema Sins when I'm in my head going, man, everything is wrong with this flick. and then especially when it comes to some of the science things. Like that movie Andreas that's supposed to come out. The movie's not even out and I'm already shitting on it.
Yeah.
It's not how transform plate boundaries work. Just throwing it out there. They don't split. Oh, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Or it's a transform divergent plate boundary, which even solidifies the fact that it's not going to be, or convergent, not divergent. It's going to come together, not split apart. That movie sucks. And I feel bad that because I'm going on record when saying this. I don't mind Dwayne Johnson as an actor.
No?
I'm going to throw it out there.
Then obviously you've never seen Tooth Fairy.
No, I haven't. So that might. So if I see Tooth Fairy, that's going to change it?
Probably so. He did a whole bunch of those family flicks. Tooth Fairy, and then there's one where it's like usually Navy SEAL watching a family.
There's one where he plays a minor part with David Vaughn. He was in it with John Travolta.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. God. He plays like a starving actor, but he doesn't get the role he wants. And David Vaughn's supposed to be hooking him up with all these roles, but he ends up just being his assistant and just kind of a chauffeur kind of thing. Yeah. And he has like this music video where he's doing like a country western kind of thing. And he just looks really silly. And then every time he goes up to like someone who can put him in a movie, he's like, "Okay, let me see a monologue," and he does a dialogue instead from Step Up. Where the cheerleading dance movie.
Are you sure that this is actually a movie, or did you dream this all last night? Because
you don't believe me?
Both wouldn't surprise me.
Danny DeVito. It's a Danny DeVito, John Travolta team up.
I don't know.
It's not Get Shorty, but I feel like it kind of has that vibe. I don't know. I gotta look it up. It might be maybe it might be a dream. If it's a dream, I'm going to be so pissed because I just spouted out this great idea.
And now somebody's going to take it. And
Does that ever happen to you? You ever come up with an idea and then like 20 minutes later you see it on TV and you're going, fuck. I should have never thought of it. Then they wouldn't have took it from me.
When you're a bartender like I was and you're like at home 3 o'clock in the morning after your shift and you watch those infomercials, you look at those and go, I had that idea. I had that idea. I had that idea.
I saw one recently with another idea. I was watching American Dad, because they released another season on Netflix, and there's this cake cutting machine, like the little tool.
Yeah.
It's like a little net of wire, and they cut cakes quickly with it. I was in there thinking the same. I thought of that idea like a year ago, and I remember when I saw it on TV, I was going, dude, now Seth MacFarlane's gonna fuck me too. He's just gonna come in here and steal my ideas.
Seth MacFarlane lucked his way out of 9/11,
That's
and
what-
now he's gonna screw me out of the cake cutting thing.
And that's the other thing. Seth MacFarlane had that idea. He didn't even use it.
Yeah.
He didn't even use it as a product. He used it in this show. No. Not that he needs the money, but he could have. Like, I needed the money. I could have done it.
Yeah.
Um,
I could have made tens of dollars with that product.
yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other. I've had a couple other ideas. Now that I'm a dad, I think I can say these things now. Because my dad used to do that shit to me too. And he told me that he invented baggy pants. Like he invented that trend. Like he would buy pants too big and then on purpose and
Yeah.
wear belts and it would be baggy. And then he started to sag them. He goes, everyone now is just stealing my style. I'm sitting there thinking, Dad, that is...
Son, look it. I invented baggy pants. I take my pants off. I take my belt off.
But he told me that when I was like 5. And at the time, I was watching like 80s movies like Prince and the Revolution and all this other stuff. No one's wearing baggy pants. I was inclined to believe the man. Oh,
When did you figure out that he was lying?
around the same time
Yeah.
when the Matrix came out. When I was 15. But you know that move that I want to say Neo uses when he punches this, like he blocks it with his chin, he like grabs it with his chin and Neo just goes psh, and hits him in the throat.
Yeah.
My dad used to do that before I saw that movie. And then I realized that then when we saw the movie, he goes, dude, that's my move. And I go,
Freaking Wachowskis.
and I remember going, when I realized I didn't believe him anymore, when I was like, no, Dad, that's not your move. You're lying. No one saw you do that. But he has before.
Yeah.
The throat, the whatever.
Little
that thing.
throat flick.
The throat flick.
Yeah. The Wachowskis stole that from me.
You have any moves that you have anything that your dad invented that you did?
Jeez. I don't know.
My dad also invented Jinkos, just so you know.
Did he?
Because of the baggy pants thing. He's like, oh yeah, since I had to buy baggy pants, I had to buy bigger boy pants, man pants. The pockets are deeper. Therefore, I invented Jinkos too. I'm taking credit for that.
Yeah, I don't remember my dad inventing anything like that. No.
It probably happened a lot more often with my dad. He's he's an engineer, so I guess he does invent things. Not invent, but maybe design things, and things like that tend to happen.
Yeah.
he I don't know, it just happens so often. I remember one time he tried telling me that he invented disco, which I knew was obviously wrong. But he invented disco.
I just imagine you thinking of your dad as John Travolta for like the first 6 years of your life. Like
Okay.
yeah.
I guess that's true. Oh man, I don't know. He's a good character, my dad.
Yeah.
He's kind of like me, except more like me. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Absolutely none whatsoever.
Nice. I saw what you did there when
Yeah.
you did there.
Don't comment on it. It takes away from
Oh man, it's my dad also liked to make up songs. I do that. I think I get that trait from my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I make up songs on the fly too. My dad, we've often talked about we should go and like make an album, like really put some music behind this. And I mean, we could probably write a CD here in like 3 days. We just need some musical types to put some music behind it, and then we're done. We're good. We'll split credits with them, but they can't take credit for it.
I couldn't say anything about that about my dad in that way. Like I don't remember a whole lot about that.
So
Nor my mom.
So you've invented things,
Yeah.
and people have stolen them because that's what happens. Motherfuckers read your thoughts and steal it.
Like an app.
Like an app.
Like I remember 10 years ago going, I wish my text messages would go right to my computer. And now Apple has the thing where your text messages go right to your computer.
Is that a real thing? You thought of that and then it just happened?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Like there's all those things.
Those bastards. I believe Apple, they could read the mind. They had.
It's like that whole antitrust movie. They turn on the they're listening to this right now. Like even before it gets released on iTunes.
They're like John Lovitz from Wedding Singer,
just
reaping the benefits. They're just back there trying to steal all our ideas.
Yeah. So last week I was really surprised that you didn't you didn't binge watch shows.
Yeah, I still don't. I try not.
You know something else that I was surprised? That you knew about it, but you hadn't used it for a long time. Instagram. And the Twitters, too.
Yeah, well...
Because I remember 2 months ago, I showed you the Instagram, and you're going, how do I use this fucking thing?
Because I felt like Facebook was always suffice. But then I realized, I think it was also you who told me how Facebook even works as far as their algorithm.
Yeah,
even though
horrendous.
Even though no one really could explain the algorithm well. You showed me this YouTube video that did get in the ballpark. It got me to the point convinced where, as I'm promoting the podcast, that only 10%, if that, is even going to see what I'm promoting here. So Instagram's really the way to go because it's unfiltered.
Yeah.
And it's the way, if people are following you, all of them are going to see it. So, boom, you should be doing that. And I was immediately convinced, and I started using Instagram.
Because 2 days ago, I like your page for Vi the Void. Surprise, I'm one of your likes. I'm on the same network.
I'm on the same maybe.
But no, you promoted this when Forced Entry went up on iTunes, and it wasn't until I actually went to the Vi the Void Facebook page that I saw you promote that.
Oh yeah,
it never came across my newsfeed.
I've been pushing it around on Twitter too, and
Yeah.
I realized Twitter's also another unfiltered thing.
And that can suck at times too, because so many people are tweeting, and it kind of gets lost in the feed. It's just like shouting into the void.
You have to, and I find myself I have a rule: at least 3 times a day, I spend 15 minutes posting something.
Yeah,
you have to post something, whether it be a quick this is what I'm doing. Like today, I posted that I'm doing all 3 shows. I'm cutting an episode of The Void. We're recording Tombstone for Haha, and we're doing Forced Entry.
Yeah.
I told everyone that I was doing that. I did that twice, checked my stuff, and that's another thing. With that, you have to also spend time responding. Even though not many do, you have to be quick to respond, or else you lose that person's interest immediately. Yeah. And I don't do a good enough job. Definitely not.
Oh, it's a full-time job is what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's not just throwing content out there, not like old media.
No,
it's like, I'm just going to throw this out there, and, audience is going to listen to it, or audience isn't going to listen to it, and somebody else can figure out if I'm doing a good job or not. But now it's just trying to cultivate that community and keep them happy, too.
Yeah, so it's like a double-edged sword. You make podcasts because it's easier now. The equipment's affordable, and at the same time, to push it, to advertise something is really easy. But it's easy for everyone, so everyone's going to do it. So you have to do it as much as everyone else or more, or else no one's going to see that you're even doing it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. And if you want to dedicate to it, that's your job.
Yeah.
That's your whole existence. Like was it? I don't want to bring him up again. Well, because I'm doing it. Mark Maron does it again from his garage. He records his podcast out of a garage. Most of his day is answering mail, sending out merch, having a Twitter, Instagram, Facebook presence.
Yeah.
Plugging podcasts. That is his old day. That is his job. And someone who's getting into it, they'll be doing the same thing without the fruition, you know. So it's almost like a time thing too. If you keep it up, you're gonna eventually pop.
Yeah. And it's at this point I'd like to remind you, if you like this podcast, like and subscribe.
Yeah, please do like and subscribe all of them. Go to War Torn Chariots, subscribe that one too.
Yeah.
But
I know what you're meaning, because my YouTube channel views after that film festival at Eastern dropped off. I don't think I've had a single view on my video for the last few days.
No. Well,
I haven't put out anything new either, and that's
another.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's another thing too. You gotta. There's a commitment to doing. I don't know. This can be with anything. I think over time, if you do it long enough, it will catch.
Yeah.
Like when I first did Void, the first month, I had a lot of listeners. Like right off the bat, off the first episode, and it kind of got to me a little bit. It's like, oh well, this is easy.
Yeah.
And then, then the listeners drop, people stop listening, and then you get kind of bummed out. And you got to think, maybe that's like the first jolt jitter thing.
Yeah.
But now where the direction that where the Void's going, it's kind of going into that local artist type of scene thing. That's the way it's going to be. You know, it's getting more responses, so I'm kind of reacting towards that and adjusting and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Could be definitely a lot more. And I think in the end you find yourself doing it because it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
I like doing podcasts with you.
Yeah. I like doing podcasts with you too.
It's one of those
It's just trying to find time where we're both on the same schedule.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna do it.
Yeah. So it's hard to be consistent. I know that's one of the rules. Be consistent. I try to do 1st and 15th if I can.
Yeah.
If I have content or content that I can release. I've got episodes in the bank and they're definitely labeled earned. You have to earn these episodes. These can't come out unless I earn it.
I think the whole thing is you just kind of have to grit your teeth, even when you don't want to do it. Because my brother told me this, I think, last week, because I've been wanting to do a vlog on my on my personal YouTube channel,
Right?
Not the War Torn Chariots YouTube channel, but he goes, just record every day, just getting that habit of talking on camera or talking on mic every single day, even if you don't release what you record, just do it.
And I've had this conversation with a couple of guests on the show. Brad Sheridan, he's a comic book artist, local here. He's out of New London. He does this thing on whydoirock.com.
Yeah.
It's a little Godzilla thing. And he makes little jokes and he tears down a city. It's funny, but it's hard for him to keep up these little comic jokes without, he has to consistently come up with new material, one. And if he's not going in the direction of current events, that's really tough to do.
Yeah.
That's kind of South Park's secret. So he tells himself he's going to do 3 to 5 cartoons a week, and he just keeps doing it with minimal responses. I think me and a couple other guys are the only ones that are really responding to his stuff. And I feel like eventually he'll get it, because another guest I had on, Jason Diebel, he wrote a book, and he's also in the comic strip thing.
Yeah.
And at first he said it was the same way. He had to keep putting it out until eventually it caught on and he got that Scholastic deal. And, he says he had to do it for 5 years to do that. So eventually it takes time and it'll catch. But ultimately he said, even though it takes time and endurance, you have to be doing it for your purposes.
Yeah.
We had this conversation earlier. I feel like I got to write for myself.
Yeah.
I was writing for myself then. It sounds really cliche, but
it does. But at the same, like, you tell stories, like you tell your sea stories from your time in the service, and
right,
I tell
right.
my time in the service stories, and even the times that I was a bartender and all that.
That being a bartender has got to be.
Yeah, you get all those people going, you should write this stuff down, or you should record this story, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think those are the stories that you just kind of have to write.
Definitely. Yeah, just write what you know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to get Justin on one day to tell his his rotary story.
Oh yeah, with Vice President.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one where he's at the gate.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. With the 203. We will definitely have Justin on forced entry one of these days.
Good one. He's the perfect guest. He's absolutely forced entry.
He is. The only thing is,
Looking at the guy, you're going forced entry.
the only thing with him is I've tried to get him on video a lot of times. I've tried to get him on like a project that I'm working on with film class, and he's not shy, but he's just not. He's a little camera shy, I guess.
He eludes the camera.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's the same way for the microphone, but that'd be great. He has some really good stories, and if you could catch us on one of those riffs, I think that would make a really good podcast.
Oh yeah. Just, I don't know. He's told me a lot of funny ones.
Yeah,
And it's just too good. The way he tells them too, pretty descriptive.
yeah.
I feel like the listeners are gonna be like, well, tell me, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Raw.
Stop talking about it. Just get him on the podcast. We'll try. We'll try a lot.
Well, do you find yourself like in scenarios where this is something that could be seen, like it could be accepted if only you filmed it, or if only you had enough pictures of it to capture the emotion of the moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever been to... I guess that's the whole point of a movie and why you're trying to make films.
Yeah.
But to try to... something that happens on a reg. Like, I go to these concerts. I'm the local music scene for two reasons. One, I really like going. Two, it's a really great way to network. I mean, there's not a thing that promotes themselves any better than a local band. And when you go to these shows, especially when it's, you know, amongst a family of bands, there's kind of an emotion there. And I had one the other night. And I was sitting there thinking, if I can just film it or take pictures in a way or record it in such a way to try to capture the atmosphere, it was pretty emotional. There was 100+ heads in there to see to say farewell to one of Willimantic's great bands, Hanging Hills. They're going to Philadelphia, and rightfully so. They belong. They got the talent. They can make it there.
Yeah.
They can blow up and explode there. There's an emotion of goodbye, and then there's history with them and the people in the crowd. If there's any way to capture that, to make that into something, you know? You ever find, like...
Yeah, I think I find stuff like that hard to convey on film or recording because there is a lot of history there. There's a lot of context that has to be known to make it emotional, I guess.
Right, to make it relatable through the audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think of that when I'm at a party or a house show. Especially when I go into these places for free, you know?
Yeah.
And when it's on like a Friday night, what are people doing on a Friday night? Sometimes they're at home watching TV, Daredevil, or maybe they go see a movie and that they may or may not like, not knowing that down the street there's a really good show going on for nothing.
Yeah.
So
I think that's I don't know. I think it's a lot of things that are like that are missed out, especially here in this college town. Because I told you, this is a shitty college town.
yeah, it's not a very good one.
After 2 p.m., try to find something to eat. We tried.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Walmart.
There's not a diner.
Your choice is Walmart.
Yeah, Totino's. If you haven't been on a Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning yelling for Totino's and you're completely hammered off your ass.
Yeah, it's not...
I don't think you've reached your 21st birthday yet.
I'm not saying that not to say that the colleges here in this college town are shitty. It's just the town for the college is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And for it to be renowned art schools too, Eastern's an art school. They have a pretty good communications, and they have a art school there, a theater. UConn has a great art program, the puppetry program. Come on, we should go see a puppet
They
show
have a
one day.
puppetry. I'll go see puppetry.
Dude, Henson's school of puppetry's there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Why didn't I go there?
Fuck. We should just go. Oh, I'm gonna have to Google and see what's going on soon. We'll
Yeah.
go there. We'll go there and then talk about it on the show. But all these things are right down the street. And nothing's. No one's going to them,
I know.
and it's a little strange in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe it says something about the people. You don't want to think that. You don't, because it's pretty pessimistic. You know. It's like,
Yeah.
these people, uncultured savages.
Yeah.
But maybe they are.
Maybe. All right. Well, we're like at 34 minutes.
There you
Close
go.
to. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
I
did
think
it.
that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add to it?
Go see a local art thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's like an art show full of paintings. If that's not your thing, go see a local band. And if that's not your thing,
Go see puppets.
go see puppets.
Yeah.
You know what? I may have said this before. You know that sign, forgetting that movie, Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah.
That puppet show?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see that so bad.
That'd be awesome.
Go see a local film festival. I mean, that happened right there in Eastern.
Yeah.
And
I made up about, I want to say, maybe 1/8 of that film festival. Yeah.
I mean, this is what I said when the time I was there. Everything I saw was funny.
Yeah.
I paid nothing.
And there was nobody in that theater.
No.
Only the filmmakers were in that theater. I don't think anybody else was.
Yeah, it's a little broken, I think.
Yeah.
That's
It's sad. Because I thought a lot of those entries were really good. Like my entries, there are a few entries in there. I'm like, yeah, that should take first.
yeah.
And they weren't mine. But even though I'm biased, I'm like, yeah, mine should take first. All of them should take first.
Yeah.
Just give me all the gift cards.
Give me all of them can be first prize.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if mine isn't, just give me all the gift cards.
But no, there's some really good student-produced flicks out there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And like I said, nobody saw it because Eastern doesn't push things like that, I guess.
It's it's definitely an untapped treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go find your untapped treasures. Wherever you are listening to this,
Yeah.
find your untapped treasure.
And on that note, go find your untapped treasure.
Yeah.
Whether it be arts. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's been Forced Entry.
There you go.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Kevin.
All right. I'll see you next week. Yay.